I was really well prepared by your employees.
Hi there, this is Kaushik Ranchod from the Ranchod Law Group, immigration attorney representing clients throughout the 50 states and worldwide. I am an immigration attorney, so thank you for tuning in to our weekly show. Today we're going to be talking about the process from green card to actually applying for someone once you become a citizen. So you'll want to stay tuned to get the whole big picture of what successful immigration process looks like, and we're doing an interview even to talk about this with an actual client, so it's going to be very interesting. If you haven't already, smash that like button. So the first step when applying for a green card, if you're applying for a marriage-based green card, you submit that with USCIS. When you're submitting it with USCIS, some of the most important forms are the I-130, the I-485, the I-864, affidavit of support. Then you can also, that's called a one-step when you file the I-130 with the 485. When you're filing for a spouse, you're considered an immediate relative. So you don't have to actually wait in line as you would if you weren't an immediate relative waiting for the priority date to become current because you're an immediate relative. We're talking about some of the important forms. Work authorization, when you submit the work authorization, it was taking a lot shorter of a time. When you listen to the interview of our client, you'll notice that he got his work authorization a lot faster because that was 10 years ago, but now government processing times are taking like 9 to 13 and a half months. The great news is that we can file that with your whole green card application. The affidavit of support is an extremely important form, and you need to make sure that you meet that requirement. You got to have 125% above. You got to be earning 125% above the poverty guidelines or have assets, if you're filing based off of marriage, that are 3 times equivalent of that. And it gets a little bit more complicated and in depth than that. So if you have questions about that, contact an immigration lawyer so you can discuss the details, especially if you want to qualify based off of assets. If you don't qualify off of that, you could still apply based off of having a joint sponsor. All right, so you submit your application, then you're going to get scheduled for biometrics. And we've noticed that when the biometrics schedule doesn't really tell us anything about when you're going to get scheduled for an interview. Right now, we're seeing times take anywhere from 1 year to 2 years, more towards the 2 years time frame, especially in the Sacramento area. Of course, it depends where you exactly live in the country. After that biometrics is scheduled, then you have the interview. We make sure you're thoroughly prepared for the interview because that's going to be the make or to break it for you. Like how you respond to those questions is a factor on whether or not the immigration officer believes you have a real relationship. Also, at that time, it's important to bring bona fides of your relationship to the interview, demonstrating that you have a real relationship. So these bona fides is a fancy legal term for documentation showing that you have a real relationship. Examples of that, of course, would be like pictures of your marriage, bank statements. Those are some of the important documents that you would bring. Anything showing that you have a real relationship. Joint documents are really important because that shows if you're going to be commingling your assets, your finances, then that shows your relationship is more real than if you didn't. At that time, you also have to have updated affidavit of support information. So in this situation that you're going to see the interview, we got our client's case approved. Then after that, after 2 years and 9 months, if you are married, you can go ahead and apply for citizenship. So that's what we did in our client situation. We went ahead and applied for citizenship. Same process with the citizenship application, applied for the N-400. Now, if you're not married, you have to actually wait 5 years. So it depends upon your situation. If you're married, you can apply it at the 2 year and 9 month mark, 90 days before you actually hit the 3 years. Or if it's not based off of a good faith marriage, then it's going to be based off of 4 years and 9 months, 90 days before the 5 year mark. So we applied for citizenship for our client, got him citizenship, then we helped him actually get a green card for his current spouse because his prior spouse unfortunately passed away. And that's the power of the process. Not only do you become lawful, but then you can bring in your family members. We also help a lot of clients bring in their parents. You could bring in your child. You could petition for your brother or sister. That's going to take a long time, but still that time does pass. So I wanted to give you this interview so you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, because this process can seem daunting. It can be very complicated. It can be very frustrating, especially now during COVID times where it's so hard to even communicate to USCIS. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Don't give up. You can get through this process. I believe in you, and you're going to be able to watch this process to be able to see that you can do it if you do things right.
I was really well prepared by your employees. They were so helpful, so friendly. I felt like, the first time I met you in 2012, when I met these girls in, I think, 2020. And then now I got my, this year, after the COVID. Yeah.
Tomasi, would you mind sharing like what you do for your work, for your livelihood?
When I applied for my green card, I was working in the oil field as a fracker in Pennsylvania and North Dakota until 2016. And then I came down to from North Dakota back to California. And right now I'm doing some caregiving as a private contractor.
And you're a pastor as well, right?
And I'm also a pastor, because after the COVID, all the churches were closed. And so the only thing I was doing was to help. I fed the homeless. I do a lot of community work. Help the people that I have storages where I have beds and furnitures, and I help a lot of people that went out of work
awesome.
or going back to their home. They found homes, so we supply them. We have people that gave us stuff, so we store them and we give them away. That's part of my off-duty. I do that mostly in a weekend, where I feed every Saturday and Sunday. I fed the homeless. But during the week, my source of income right now is I do caregiving. I'm a caregiver as a private contractor. I used to work in other companies, agencies, but I found that I don't have any time, to do the things that I'm really called to do, and that is to help the community.
Well, that's so awesome. That's just a more proof of like how immigrants are contributing to the community, to our country, and making our country a better place. And you're a testament to that. What does it feel like now to have a green card, have citizenship, versus like what's your life like now versus before not having lawful status?
I wish you saw me when I came back from the the sworn in, the oath ceremony. I was like, wow. I was like flying in the moon or in the sky. I was off this world. How happy I was, first with my green card, and then when I got my citizenship, that was something else. I'm telling you. You can tell with my face right now, I am full of joy. I never dreamt in a million years that this is possible, but because of the Ranchod Law Group has blessed me with a lot of advice, good counsel, and communication. I'm always being updated with everything that I asked. The question came back good answers, and even after hours, I was surprised that still some of your people call me after 6 o'clock to ask me, hey, what's going on? What about the appointment and all these things? I said, wow, these people are still working, man. I'm really happy with the Ranchod Law Group.
Oh well, thank you so much for your. Yeah, thank you so much for your kind words. Is there anything that you think would be helpful for anyone who's going through this process? Any words of wisdom for people?
I think the first thing is I think what makes easier for me is first I prepared first with the finance, because some people have financial problem. If we prepare ourselves, we won't be in trouble, because everything costs money. Even the fees that we need to pay to the immigration department and all those things. And this process is only good with if we are also update ourselves with our communication. I always read all your emails about your update. That is very helpful. If people want to keep them up to date with academically with what's going on in the immigration world, I always educate myself with your video, your video, even in YouTube, that you send to your clients I think every month.
I try to do it every week. Thank you.
Every week,
I'm
yeah,
glad that
every week.
people,
You know what?
people
I
are
always
actually viewing it.
Yeah, that is a very helpful thing for the people that want to know what is happening in the government and in the world. If they want to go into this process, listen to those videos, because they help us, give us hints of or to know, how we need to understand how the government operates and how the process can go on and what you need to prepare yourself for. And that is very so helpful.
Yeah, and and one of the reasons I like to do the videos is because the laws are changing. They change frequently with immigration or the policies.
Right.
It's like it is so what might be happening like 1 month ago might be different, a month later. So that's the fun thing about doing the videos, is updating
Yes.
everybody on what's going on, so they're aware of the latest.
Yes. Yes. I really enjoyed those videos, Kaushik. I really update myself with them. I said, wow, this is what is happening. There are a lot of things that are changing. And and that's why I was also patient, because of the COVID. After the COVID, there are a lot of changes going on in the government that I was unaware of until I listened to your video, and I was able to know, okay, this is why all the things are going on the way it is. Otherwise, I will be left in the dark, and some people will have that negative way of thinking. I don't. I think, because if I don't know, then I will be critical about, hey, this firm is not doing their job. But because of your information, always help me to understand the process of immigration and how I need to update myself with how the government works and the laws that they are doing, changing.
Well, I think you touched upon an important part too, that it's a team effort between the attorney and the client, because we rely on you and the client to provide us with the documentation, the information, and it's also the mindset that you go into. Like, if you go in with a positive mindset, that
Yes.
you can trust your attorney that's going to work
Yes.
through the process, then it makes it a much more pleasant experience for everyone.
Right.
Like you said, keeping yourself informed, rather than just getting into a situation where it's not a team effort. So I think also it's a testament to you wanting to also be part of the process and making things
Yes.
a positive experience, and appreciate that.
I think it's one of the things that foreigners that want to become American, if people want to, they need to update, their knowledge. And one of the easiest ways, just listen to a lot to these videos, especially by you attorneys that update, the people that are coming in here to know how this nation works, how the laws work, and what to prepare ourselves for. And update ourselves. The more knowledge is power, and most of the time people don't give that. Maybe because I was educated here. One of the lessons that I studied in the Bible college was church pastors and laws, where the church, or working in the church, as a pastor to know the law of the government, and so that's one of the things that I do. I educate myself with new things like this. I love listening to video where I can update myself and upgrade my knowledge. And that's one of the things I want to thank you for. That's very
Awesome.
helpful
So
to a
what
lot
was
of
one
us.
of the biggest challenges that you had to face going through this process?
I think because of the COVID, what the challenge was, hey, why did it take so long? It's been, it's over a year now. And then, but the best thing was the office always, encouraged me to say, be patient. You're not the only one. There are millions of people that applied, and because of COVID, the office was closed for some times, and now they are backlogged. They have to, do all their stuff, go back to work, and some of them are working from home, and it's not that easy. I would advise people to be patient. Just be patient. Learn to be patient. Go with the process. Get in contact with the office of your attorney, and they will always update you. I don't think that that one makes me so comfortable because first I got my green card through Ranchod, and now I got my citizenship through the same, and now I'm filing for my wife for her green card through the same, through you, the same law group. And if one of the things that I would advise people, stay with the same people, because once you build friendship and build relationship with the same lawyer or same attorney, that will be very helpful in the future. Right now I can recommend you to a lot of Fijian people. Said, hey, I got a good attorney. If you are looking forward for green card of families coming in, this is a place that you can go to.
And I think you touched upon an important point, that it becomes a relationship. And I love seeing, like in your experience, 10 years ago, and now we got you citizenship, now filing for your wife. Like, that's just so personally rewarding, and rewarding for our team too, to just see that progression. And we love being a part of that. And that's why our core purpose, unification, that's why we do what we do. So thank you, Tomasi, for joining this call. Really appreciate it. So Tomasi, could you tell me what it was like to work with our law firm, the Ranchod Law Group?
It's one of the best thing I think I have experienced when I came to America, by coming across you. I know that you are Indian American, because in Fiji we have 50% of the population that are Indians. So I've got a lot of Indian friends, and I get comfortable. I feel like this is just part of my people back at home, who are very friendly to me. I grew up with a lot of them. I went to school with them. I relate a lot with them. That's why one of the things I relate with the law firm is because of the way I think back at home with all my Indian brothers and sisters, is the way I look at Kosik Ranchod. That's a good thing. I feel comfortable. I really, I like, hey, I remember I greet you in Hindi when we came to your office. And so that's one of the things. It feels me like I'm back at home. I'm just talking to a local friend at home when I talk with you and the office workers in your office.
And what was the process that you did with our firm, so people know?
The process that I did was, first, that was 10 years ago. we applied for my green card, but in 2 weeks I got my work permit and the Social Security, and within a month I got my green card. I said, "Wow, these people work like a machine," and that was a real surprise. Even my late wife then was surprised. I said, "Wow, this is so quick." I said, "Yeah, remember we read this in the review, and this is what it says." And the people say a lot of good things about this law group, Ranchod Law Group, and that is one of the highlights of how we talk. And he said, "Oh," and we talk to our people, even in church. We talked about how quick this thing came through. And so everybody was, what lawyer did you, what attorney, what law group did you go through? And we talked to them and told them about the Ranchod Law Group, how quick and how fast and how friendly the officers were to us.
Really, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this video.
No problem. My pleasure.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy this interview. And until next week, bye for now.